of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, which took place at the Boom Hall, IBB Avenue, Uyo. Etienne Oibanga reports that during the meeting, reports and fact-finding discussions on the state of the nation and implementation of the Central Working Committee were presented.
Welcoming stakeholders and delegates to the Assembly, the leader and convener of the forum, Chief Edwin Clark, stated that the essence of the gathering was to appraise the activities of PANDEF and also discuss the lingering issues in the Niger Delta region and the country at large. Chief Clark emphasized that restructuring was the panacea to the problems of the country, arguing that oil-producing regions have benefited nothing compared to other zones. He commended the federal government for the recent visit to the Niger Delta region, which he noted has given it first-hand information on the poor state of the region. Chief Clark appealed to the President to revisit some appointments earlier made, which are detrimental to the people of the Niger Delta region in the interest of the national peace and unity.
The purpose of this meeting, to put it right, is continue to satisfy our position and to review our success so far, our progress so far, and where we are not able to move forward.
The state governor, Mr. Udomimano, made a case for governors in the Niger Delta region to be at the forefront of the struggle, stressing that people should not beg for development. Hence, issues and concern of the Niger Delta should be treated accordingly.
I know and I believe President Muhammadu Buhari genuinely wants to address the problems of the area once and for all, and he deserves our support. So that's why I really call on our youths, and let's give all the maximum support so that these problems can be addressed once and for all.
The coordinator, local organizing committee of Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Uyo Sinkanga, likened the situation in the region to the struggle between David and Goliath, implored the people of the region to find new ways of stating their grievances and tackling injustice instead of resorting to violence.
The business may not be a substitute for dialogue, but we can see some things happening. We can see that East-West Road has been done to some extent, but let's not forget that the portion that goes from Toron that links Calabar has still not been done. Yes, the Maritime University in Kerekoko has been approved and is on, but let's also remember that the University of Maritime Studies in Oron is undergoing the process at the National Assembly and it will still go through, we hope.
Reporting.
The state government said it disbursed over 22 million naira for the implementation of 14 micro-projects in rural communities between January 2016 and March 2017. Out of the number, 6 projects have been completed and put to use by the communities. The state governor, Mr. Udomimano, said these are the launch of the first set of approved CDPS for implementation in 16 communities in the state. Imemusen, an intern with AKBC1st News, reports.
Economic Development and Manpower Planning, Mr. Dorian-Udo, who represented Governor Udomimano, said that with the presentation of checks to the 16 benefiting communities to implement their life-touching projects, it is expected that they will keep to the agreed plan and specification of the project. He said that the communities must work hard to complete their projects on time to ensure that less than 48 of such projects, to which over 154 million naira have been expended, are put to use. The commissioner told the gathering that 90% of the amount is spent by the government through the Akwa Ibom State Agency for Community and Social Development, while the rest 10% is made available by the communities. The commissioner expressed government's continued willingness to penetrate local communities to facilitate the packaging of CDPs to forward them to the World Bank for review, approval, and funding. The commissioner commended Governor Udomimano for ensuring that the state fulfills the requirement to enable her benefit from the project.
fiscal deposit of funds, the Secretary graciously fulfill all the requirements which enable Accra State to come on board community ambitious development project and internal financing that commenced from August 2015 and will continue to run in June 2017.
The General Manager for Akwa State Agency for Community and Social Development, Mr. Ishmael Akpan, said the project, a brainchild of the state government, is supported only by the World Bank. Mr. Akpan explained that the project seeks to empower local governments and communities to enhance access of the poor to social and natural infrastructure and adopting bottom-up approach. He said that during the original CSDP, which began on 1st March 2012 and ended December 2014, 15 micro-projects amounting to over 216 million naira were implemented and put to use in 37 communities of the state. He said that over 22 million naira has been disbursed as grants from September 2016 to 30th March 2017 into 15 micro-projects, adding that over 113 expressions of interest have been received from communities in 20 local government areas.
The Deputy Governor of Akwa State, Mr. Deputy President, promptly fulfilled all the requirements which enable the CSDP additional financing.
The chairman of the Local Government Transition Committee, Mrs. Inibe Silas, expressed gratitude to Governor Udomi Mandol for working with the World Bank to assist rural communities to address their social and infrastructural problems. The beneficiaries also expressed happiness over the gesture of the government.
I want to thank the World Bank. They have done so much. We took the opportunity to thank our excellency that has seen it fit to avoid the people to get to the World Bank and access it.
Imam Hussein reporting.
The federal government has been asked to improve funding to the nation's universities to enable them procure current equipment for effective teaching of microbiology. University teacher Professor Ime Udotong of the University of Uyo made the call while delivering his inaugural lecture at the university. Professor Ime Udotong was speaking on the topic microbiology yesterday, today, and in the next millennium. According to him, there was need for a change from the classical traditional culture dependent method to the current culture independent metagenomics approaches. The lecture, 53rd, took place at the 1,000-seater capacity Tech Fund Auditorium at the main campus of the university on Wangiba Road. Itima Ibala reports.
The inaugural lecture afforded the professor the opportunity to present an overview of the basis of his chosen discipline, research career so far, and update the audience and colleagues of current and the future plans. Delivering the 115-page lecture on the topic microbiology, yesterday, today, and in the next millennium, the professor of environmental microbiology said equipment like the next generation sequencing machine and others should be procured by the federal government to aid in the modern teaching of microbiology, describing microbiology as the study of organisms too small to be seen clearly by the unaided human eye. Professor Dotong pointed out that microbes constitute the largest group of living organisms existing on Earth and affecting human existence, health, food, agriculture, environment, scientific and industrial development. While waiting for funding to improve, the lecturer called on the University of Uyo to foster collaborations with some reputable and well-funded institutions in Nigeria and abroad for effective training of microbiologists for the next millennium. Professor Dotong advocated that industries should be made to fund researches that are carried out in universities to improve university research capabilities. He said that in the next millennium, molecular methods will be developed to its peak and will be routinely practiced by all microbiologists who will also develop other novel methods, including microbial forensics and nanomicrobiology. Professor Dotong also professed some recommendations that can move the practice of environmental microbiology forward in the next millennium for the benefit of the environment and mankind.
Federal Ministry of Science and Technology should procure new generation sequencing machines, NGS, and then keep them available for researchers because they're too expensive for one institution to procure. To ensure technology transfer, industrial operators should be mandated to accept academic staff. By the time you've done 1 year sabbatical will be shared and you come back, your teaching techniques will change.
The Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Enefiel Essien, commended the inaugural lecturer for bringing his experience to bear in the delivery of the lecture. Professor Essien said that inaugural lectures were important in a university life as they create opportunity for a public proclamation of a new chair in the university environment.
I'm sure that what they are giving us is something of practical utilitarian value, not only for the state and Nigeria but for the world. What we are expounding are things that will go globally in those areas of decision.
The 53rd inaugural lecturer of the University of Uyo, Professor Imu Dotong, a native of Ikbenang in a Temeko local government area, rose to the rank of professor in 2007 and has put in 38 years in the study of microbiology. Etienne Ibanga reporting.
You're watching AKBC45 News this Saturday morning. When we return after the break, a 26-year-old man accused of armed robbery discharged by State High Court sitting in Ikonikwana. Stay with us. Welcome back. On Mother's Day, the state governor, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, visited Oyulo in Urefonguruko local government area to pray with youths across the state. Governor Emmanuel was represented by the Commissioner for Works, Mr. Ephraim Yang, at the prayer convocation. In an interview, some members of the community thanked the governor for restoring sanity, the fear of God, and peace to the state, saying that his administration is founded on righteousness. A former member representing Urefonguruko in the House of Assembly, Chief Uno Hitamuno, said that the community will continue to support the governor for having the interest of the state at heart. Chief Uno noted that the government has been encouraging youths to seek God in their youthful day, describing it as the only pathway to a glorious future. The former lawmaker said he was appreciative of the support, encouragement, investment and platform the governor has given to youths to excel, and also commended the special assistant to the governor on youth matters, Comrade Anyefio Hiwa-Udofia, for leading the youths in a godly direction.
On behalf of the AU community and senior citizens of the AU, we sincerely appreciate His Excellency for a successful hosting of Youth Pray, a monthly youth prayer of the entire youth of Akwa Ibom State, hosted by AU community.
On his part, the immediate past assistant legal advisor of the PDP in the state, Barrister Itaokboyo, hinted that the choice of Oyulo for the youth prayer was also a platform to sell ideas on how to impact positively on the youths of the state. Mr. Okboyo encouraged that the youth conference should continue to go around all the local government areas of the state for youths to persistently seek the face of God in the affairs of youths and the state at large.
For the community to have been chosen to host that convocation really meant that the government has found the community as a worthy community to use as a platform to sell ideas on how to impact positively on the youth of this state and how best the message, goodwill from the youth of this state can be extended to the governor and the government and the people of Akwa Ibom State.
A state high court sitting in Ikorekbene has discharged a 26-year-old man, Edidiong Daniel Udoka, who was accused of armed robbery in Ukanibogo village, the same local government area. Justice Ntong Tong, in his judgment, decried a situation where a village head, uncle or relative would accuse a person over misunderstanding and expect a reasonable court to align with them in order to satisfy such a village head, community or relative of the accused person. While discharging Edidiong Udoka, the judge said that the law provides that in an offense such as armed robbery, the prosecution must prove his case beyond reasonable doubt and not the person to prove his innocence. Justice Ntong condemned the menace of armed robbery in the society, but said that in armed robbery case, the law must take its course, not minding whose ox is gird. Well, a judicial correspondent reports that after the prosecution failed to call witnesses in accordance with the rules of criminal jurisprudence, the court therefore asked the accused person to enter defense, where he pleaded a no-case submission in line with Section 288 of the Criminal Procedure Laws of Akwa Ibom State. The no-case submission succeeded, and the accused person, Edidiong Udoka, was discharged. AKBC News, however, observed that Udoka was not let off the hook because he had another criminal matter preferred against him in the same court. The 26-year-old was said to have robbed one Udo Ibanga Sambo of his motorcycle, a Nokia handset, and a pair of cover shoes along the Mabak Road by Kanibogo village, in August 2011. In fulfillment of the biblical command to give thanks for everything, the Director of Finance and Supplies in the AKBC, Mr. Lawrence Ifeong, gathered his family, friends, relatives, and colleagues to the Sacred Heart Parish at Carfort. The event was a thanksgiving of the successful completion of Doctor of Philosophy degree by his wife Mary, as well as other blessings of God to the family. Pio Kuswa was there.
It was indeed a joyous moment as the family of Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence Ifeong led the procession accompanied by friends and relatives. Mr. Ifeong said God has bestowed immense blessings on his family and that they were very grateful. He said they were particularly thankful to God for seeing his wife Mary through the rigors of obtaining the highest academic degree.
We are coming for the life of my wife, the mother of the family, and the sister of Mary. For what God has done in our lives, we are happy because we know what she went through.
Earlier in his sermon, the assistant priest of the Sacred Heart Parish, Reverend Father Joseph Ekwere, described Jesus as the rock of the ages from which flows the living water. Reverend Father Ekwere counseled the faithful to speak to that rock in faith through prayers rather than complain, fear or panic during difficult times. He emphasized that such prayers must be offered fervently and in total reliance on God's promises that when his own calls unto him, he will answer and send help. The celebration later continued at the Jubilee Event Center, Osohama Estate, where guests were treated to sumptuous cuisines and entertainment. The celebrant, Mrs. Mary Effiong, who holds first degrees in law, guidance and counseling, home economics and social studies, master's degrees in social studies and guidance and counseling, and a PhD in family counseling, said they have all been possible through the mercies of God. She said her experience was proof that God could bless and aid the advancement of anybody from any background or circumstance to any level of aspiration.
There was always telling God, oh Jehovah, I am happy that I am alive to see my postcard, not as a shock. So today, the Lord has done.
To end the news, we take a second look at the top stories. The state government has said that it has disbursed over 22 million naira for the implementation of 14 micro projects in rural communities between January 2016 and March 2017. Out of the number, 6 projects have been completed and put to use by the communities. We also told you that the federal government has been asked to improve funding to the nation's universities to enable them to procure current equipment for effective teaching of microbiology. University teacher Professor Emil Dotong of the University of Uyo made the call while delivering his inaugural lecture at the university. Thank you for staying tuned. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging onto akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45U or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. On behalf of the production crew, have a wonderful Saturday ahead. Remember to join us at 12 for the news at noon. Till then, God bless you.